Hey people, it's Swamp here and welcome to episode 39 of Danganronpa 2. Last time we finished up our investigations after watching the wonderful Wizard of Monomi film. Seriously, 5 out of 5 stars. Recommend watching, 100% freshness on Rotten Tomatoes, all that stuff. Really, just watch it. It's glorious. Monokuma gives it 5 severed thumbs up out of 5. I don't know, just all that sort of stuff. Anyways, let's move on to the trial. First off, though, we have to talk to Mickey. Always talk to him. I've been helpful. Of course you've been helpful, Mickey. Except when you were trying to get intimate with Hajime's head. I'm going to be doing this with having death. I'm sorry, I'm such a useless piece of trash. Oh my gosh, this is sad. She's taking over Yoko's duties. Okay, Chiaki, any thoughts?
Hey, let's go. There's no time to waste. I know it's sad, but we need to move forward. And then we need to end this once and for all.
And Gundam.
Fine.
It's about time I showed you my serious side.
Let's make history.
Jeez, how troublesome. But I suppose I can display my true power for the sake of our two bonded comrades. Oh, we also have Kazuichi. Kazuichi's always good.
This is
Hey,
bad.
what did Monokuma mean just now? Don't tell me that Kuma's already... Don't get distracted from Monokuma. We need to focus on the class trial now. I know, but... Let's go! This is the fact that we have an escalator. We stepped onto the escalator and ascended towards the gaping maw of Monokuma Rock. And that's when I suddenly noticed it. I noticed that our lineup of still houses keeps getting smaller and smaller. But I can't turn back now. If I turn back, I won't be able to press forward. And everyone's designed Monokuma Rock. We already danced deep descent as usual. But nobody said a word. It would just be hilarious if someone did, like during one of these situations on the elevator, just tried to strike up an awkward conversation. As we stood there trying to figure out what to say to each other, the elevator descended deeper and deeper. And when it descended as far as it could go, it finally stopped. The elevator door slowly, almost tantalizingly so. Light poured through the other side, eroding the boundaries of the darkness, and I walked into that place. What's our theme this time?
My! It feels pretty toothless with all these empty seats.
Well, 2 people got killed at the same time, and Nekomaru's not here either.
Hey.
Is Nekomaru really not participating? If he's alive, you shouldn't fight him. I think he's in critical condition, because he took a bazooka to the chest, or to the crotch, I don't know. They were doing an emphasis on that crotch in that cutscene.
No.
Why bother?
That's
what?
Well now.
Now then, let's begin. It's time. It's the beginning of the long-awaited class trial. Please enjoy to your heart's content.
And so, the curtain to the third class trial was about to open. Ibuki Miyoda, the ultimate musician. She was really loud, but she was the mood maker of our group. When I was with her, all of my pain and suffering just seemed to melt away. Hiyoko Sanjani, the ultimate traditional actor. Let's see what he has to say about Hiyoko. Because just from looking at her adorable face, you never know she was actually selfish and foul-mouthed. But she was trying to change herself, and she was desperately trying to come to terms with Mahiru's death. I like the fact that Hajime, he just has these soliloquies for everyone who died. No, in a sense. Is it me or did Mahiru get a longer one? Really. The person who killed those two is among us. I definitely can't believe it. But whenever I believe is not... but whether I believe it or not is irrelevant. Oh, what is wrong with my voice? Unless I figure out the truth, I won't be able to escape from this hell. That's why I must find out, no matter the cost. For our sake. For our friend's sake. For Ibuki and Hiyoko's sake. And so, the curtain to the third class trial was about to open. This life-threatening trial, billowing with hope and despair, has begun. At least it's better than Makoto's repeat. Oh my gosh, that became just plain out of tie or something. Okay, let's set the skills. Okay, we only have one new skill. Excellent blade. It's a little sad, since I only have one new skill, but hey. What do you expect? But hey, we got Moonsault, Excellent Blade. Finish preparations.
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial. During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it. If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island. Oh well, who cares about this boring explanation? Let's get on with it already!
I don't mind starting the trial, but I don't really have a grasp of how the case played out. You know, because I was asleep the whole time.
Even if you do grasp it, you're just gonna confuse the heck out of us, aren't you?
But Nagito's not alone. I don't really get it either.
You're fine. Your head's empty anyway.
Oh my gosh! Freaking Hiyoko dies in the floodgates open for all the insults!
Empty head? Huh. What's wrong with that?
Well, rest in peace, Kazuichi. I wonder what'll happen if she kills him right in front of us. I mean, are we gonna hold another
Listen
touchdown?
up. The emptier your head, the more dreams you can stuff inside it, you know?
Anyway, we shouldn't proceed with the trial if those two can't participate in the arguments. Since he's the first witness, why don't we ask Hajime to explain the incident and the sequence of events?
Then, let's start with when we split into the hospital team and motel team because of the despair disease. The hospital team consisted of Nagito, Ibuki, and Akane, who were infected, and Mikan, Fuyuhiko, and me.
The other 5 on the motel team were myself, Gundam, Kazuichi, Chiaki, and Hyoko.
Spending the night at the hospital was prohibited, so Hajime and I had to sleep at our cottages.
I woke up at my cottage on the day the incident happened. Mikan came by to wake me up and told me that Nagito had recovered from his symptoms.
Well, glad to know you're keeping your little encounter with her a secret.
We immediately headed over to the hospital, and after we confirmed his recovery, I made Mikan rest in the on-call room, since she hadn't slept all night, while I waited in the hospital lobby. And then, I saw the incoming signal light on the surveillance camera blinking before our scheduled time. When I pressed the button to turn on the monitor, what appeared on screen was a video of someone wearing a hospital gown and a hemp bag on their head, climbing a stepladder.
Amazing! That's such a heart-pounding story! And then what did you do, Hajime?
I tried to stop them, of course. I rushed out of the hospital and ran to where the video was being recorded, the music venue. But it was too late. By the time I arrived, the person wearing the hemp bag on their head was already hanging from the ceiling. I thought I should tell the others right away, so I headed to the motel.
Why the motel?
Because it was close to the music venue, and unlike the hospital, there were more able-bodied people there. At least, that's what I thought. But the only person who came with me was Chiaki.
But I remember feeling a little relieved because not long after, we met up with Mikan and Fuyuhiko.
We were also looking for Ibuki since she disappeared from our sight.
After I rested for a bit, I started counting everyone at the hospital.
Wait a minute. Mikan, that doesn't make sense. You said that you wanted to count everyone before you rested. Am I missing something? No. Okay, afterwards she went to the afterwards she went to the hospital to check on everyone, realized that Ibuki, when she rushed out of the hospital, okay. No, we don't know.
And then I noticed Ibuki was gone, so I sprinted out of the hospital. Coincidentally, I ran into Fuyuhiko, so I pled with him in various ways to see if he could help me out.
Various ways?
Don't say it like that and confuse people.
Yeah, we already know the thoughts that are going through Hajime's head.
After I heard from those two that Ibuki disappeared, I had a feeling she was the person wearing the hemp bag.
I was able
so
to
I immediately led them to the music venue.
Based on the hair, I mean, really.
But the door wouldn't open. Since we had no other option, the 4 of us broke down the door. And when that happened, we didn't just find Ibuki's body. We also found Hyoko's, and not just that. Her body was taped to a pillar.
But one thing, we know that I can guess that Kyoko was killed in the music venue. She was killed in that back room, possibly, because of just like the fact that someone had to tie that knot in that kimono. And wouldn't it make more sense if she was tying it, that it would be tied in the front?
That's when we heard the body discovery announcement. Not once, but twice in a row.
And so we decided to lower the hanged body, didn't we?
When we removed the hemp bag, just as we feared, it was Ibuki.
So that's how the case played out. Thank you. I understood it very easily.
Well, it's clear what the problem with this case is. When Hajime left the music venue, who...
Wait, how do I know anything Hajime just said is true?
I knew it! Nakito's gonna try to throw us on the bus. Oh, when he thinks we're the killer, he's not gonna try to help us out. No, no, no. He's gonna help everyone else out. Welcome to the Makoto Club, Hajime, where everyone's going to try their best to throw you under that compactor, while every other killer gets off scot-free.
Sorry, I'm only being impartial right now. And the story I just heard is clearly suspicious. Hajime, if you're the only one who saw the hanging video, and the first one to discover Ibuki's body, then you could be lying as much as you want right now.
Lie? Why would I lie?
Obviously. So you could make us ignore what might be an inconvenient truth for you.
Do you doubt me?
If you're not lying, I would like you to prove it.
What is this about? Like, oh, so basically, Teru, he can stab Hands Byakuya in the throat a dozen times with a skewer, and you're basically like, let's save him. But
Come on, try to prove it to me. Prove you're not the killer.
No, it's screw you, Nagito. It's just as Kachuichi said, Nagito's the kind of guy who'll just confuse us and make matters worse. Damn it, I shouldn't have explained to Nagito. I'm in trouble now thanks to this. Make your argument. Motel room key, scraps and paper, surveillance camera unit. Let's see what it is.
Hajime's testimony is clearly suspicious.
If Hajime's testimony is a lie, then the fact that Ibuki hung herself...
That would also be a lie.
I don't think I can deny that possibility. After all, Hajime is the only witness.
Why would Hajime lie?
Well, obviously because he's the killer.
Did Hajime kill both of them?
The fact that the bodies were imitating the movie means it probably is Hajime's fault.
Aha! Movie tickets. I'm not the killer. There should be contradictions though. And if I am breakthrough. Yes, the movie ticket.
Hajime's testimony is clearly suspicious.
If Hajime's then the fact that Ibuki...
That would also...
I don't think I can... After all, Hajime is the only...
Why would Hajime lie?
Well, obviously because he's the killer.
Yeah, who's laughing?
Did Hajime kill both of them?
The fact that the bodies were imitating the movie.
Yeah, okay.
No, that's wrong.
No, the sound didn't get me this time.
I'm not the killer. I mean, there's no way I'd be able to imitate that movie.
Well, alright, this is starting off better than that last trial with that freaking swimsuit full of sand.
Of course you're not. I already knew that.
Huh?
Before the incident, Hajime had never watched that movie. His invitation ticket is proof of that. Each person only received one ticket, and they're marked with a stamp that shows the date and time. Isn't that right, Monokuma?
Yes, no mistakes there.
Which means there's no way Hajime, who never saw the movie, could commit murders that imitated it. Or did anyone tell him what happens in the movie? Of course no one did, right?
Hold on a sec! You're the one who brought this up in the first place!
Yeah!
Nagito, what are you doing?
Being an asshole, that's what he's doing.
Well, since we're opening with your witness testimony, I thought we should solidify the foundation.
Okay, fair enough.
It also provides a good warm-up.
Okay, now you're going back into creepy territory.
What warm-up? This isn't a game, you know.
Well, not to you.
Don't get mad. I just think warming up is really important. Especially since this isn't a game.
What a waste of time. Well,
I knew it would turn out like this anyway.
Now then, since we know Hajime's testimony is reliable, let us move on to the arguments.
So this means Ibuki definitely climbed the stepladder all by herself, right?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Then that seals it! Ibuki committed suicide!
No, I really doubt
If
it.
Ibuki committed suicide, then who killed Hiyoko?
A murder coincidentally occurring in the same place as a suicide. Ain't possible, huh?
Like I said before, it's pretty clear what the problem with this case is. The killer murdered Hiyoko while Hajime was gone.
Well, that's assuming that she was killed second. For all we know, Hiyoko could have been killed first.
So all we gotta do is establish who could have possibly done that.
Then let's ask Hajime. How long would you say you were away from the music venue?
I couldn't have been gone for more than 10 minutes.
So they killed Hiyoko and taped her up within 10 minutes? There's no way that's possible.
Well, it is if they were just merely hiding her body and they just it was just an act of just tying her up.
That's why the killer stalled for time by making the music venue a closed room.
What do you mean, a closed room?
The killer blocked the venue door from the inside to try and keep us from entering right away.
However, that door is the only entrance to the music venue, right? If they blocked the door from the inside, the killer would not have been able to leave either.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Which means, when we broke down the venue door, the killer was still inside.
They were?
If that's the case, the only suspicious people are those who don't have an alibi for that time. And that's you two! Sonia and Kazuichi!
One, Kazuichi's not smart enough for that thing, and Sonia is, well, Sonia. I don't think she would do it.
Me too?
What the hell? Why's it gotta be us?
The others all have alibis. Chiaki, Mikan, Hajime, and I all broke down the venue door together. Gundam met up with Hajime at the motel right before that. And if Akane and Nagito were laid up in the hospital, the only person that leaves is one of you.
There's another person who doesn't have an alibi. You know, Nekomaru.
I.e. the guy who got hit in the chest with a bazooka.
Me too!
Hey, why are you talking like... Huh?
Yeah, he's bringing Nekomaru's spirit into the job.
You're kidding, right? You're not up to something weird, are you?
Please stop making bad jokes.
Anyway, if the killer was hiding inside the venue, we should obviously doubt the people who don't have alibis.
What a wicked way of backing us into a wall! Is this his professional skill?
The killer was inside the music venue. Hiko obviously thinks so, but is that really it? Make your argument. Motel room, scrap the paper, step ladder, semi-transparent block.
The killer was still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the inside, they tried to keep us from getting in.
It seems they were trying to stall for time.
How did they lock the door? That door should not have had a lock.
Kazuichi.
The lock was on the floor in front of the door.
Are you talking about the broken drumstick?
You can use that as a bolt to lock the door. By doing that, the killer who was hiding inside waited till we gathered together and suddenly appeared.
So they looked like they had just rushed over.
I have seen this in serial crime dramas.
The thing we got off, Sonya would get on a rant. The person who constitutes I should be able to prove that with my evidence.
The killer was still inside the music venue.
I'm gonna think that it
By locking the door from the inside,
semi-transparent glove.
They tried to keep us from getting in.
It seems they were trying to stall for time.
How did they lock the door? That door should not have had a lock.
The lock was on the floor in front of the door.
Are you talking about the broken drumstick?
No, we're not going to consent to that.
You can use that as a bolt to lock the door. By doing that, the killer who was hiding waited till we got and suddenly
So they look like
I have seen this in serial crime dramas.
Okay, I think it's gonna be the glob.
the killer was still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the inside,
Yeah, okay.
No, that's
I'm
wrong.
sorry since I get paranoid a little, but hey, things have so far moved faster than that last trial. All I had to do 2 sit rounds.
Wait a second. There's also a possibility that the door was locked from the outside.
True.
From the outside? How?
There was a semi-transparent glob stuck to the venue door. Maybe that's what they used.
Semi-transparent glob. Like rubber, maybe?
That was rubber. That was probably gummy. Okay, I'm gonna say I don't think it was glue. Glue.
I see! That semi-transparent glob must have been glue.
I'm sorry, it was like a trick question. I'm like, gummy. Well, I don't know. Is glue supposed to be green?
Glue?
Yeah, I think so too. It had a firm, gel-like chewiness, and I could smell workshop chemicals the moment I put it in my mouth. Based on all that, I'm certain it was glue.
I didn't know glue was edible.
Okay. How much you want to bet that Kai's gonna end up in the hospital again? Though not because of the despair disease, but because she tried to eat glue.
I believe it is not something one typically eats.
That glue was only applied to the areas where both doors touched. By pouring it in the gaps of the closed door, they must have sealed the venue door from the outside.
And thanks to that, a glob of glue was left where the door was stuck. Yep, it fits perfectly. But if you just stick them together with glue, you'd be able to break down the door easily, you know?
We did break it down easily.
That doesn't really matter. The killer only did that to make us think the door was locked from the inside.
What'd you say?
First of all, didn't that drumstick we found seem really obvious? Almost unnaturally so? It was so obvious that it makes more sense to think the killer placed it as a diversion.
Okay, you're only making yourself look more suspicious, Chiaki.
Are you saying the drumstick was a trap the killer set on purpose? Then I totally fell for that fucking trap.
Apologize to Miss Sonia and me. However, you're not allowed to slice open your stomach this time.
In a quarrel, both sides are to blame. That's why it's better to just have no sides at all.
So, during the 10 minutes Hajime left the venue, the killer murdered Hiyoko and created a closed space?
And they also taped her up after killing her, right?
Even quick work has limits.
Oh, what unimaginable speed for a slowpoke like me.
If they couldn't have done it while Hajime was away from the venue, they must have done it earlier than that.
Earlier?
But when Hajime got to the venue, only Ibuki's body was there, right?
And when you went back with everyone else, Hiyoko's body was there too, right? But it's possible that the body was just revealed at that time, when Hiyoko was actually killed earlier.
Just revealed?
Of course, the body wasn't revealed on its own. The killer did that too.
Thank you, Nagito, for stealing my thunder. I thought this would be like some mid-case argument. No, we're just getting into the, the order of the murders could have been done reverse thing right off the bat.
Here, I have proof.
That scrap of paper. Is that what we found in the baton lighting at the music venue?
That's right, but just what is this scrap anyway?
It's from that poster tape wall thing. A scrap that was stuck on the baton lighting in the music venue. No, now I should be able to figure out what it is. Are we doing some skateboard hangman's Gavin? No! I was stuck to the baton lighting. Please, I want to do this. Okay, paper. I don't care! Ah, come on! Wallpaper. Ah! Wallpaper! Yeah! I am invincible! So many W's! Yeah. Ah! I'm getting it! I'm getting it! Where's the A? Ah! Wallpaper, come on! Okay. Ah! Javier! Ah! Ah, what the hell is going on? Ah, no. Oh, come on, I need to do this. Come on, I can actually get it for once. Wallpaper! Yes! A hangman gambit! I get on the first try! Woo!
That's scrap. Isn't it part of the wallpaper in the storage room?
I'm getting on your game, hangman's gambit. Like a really old one.
In the music venue storage room, there should have been black wallpaper that's the same color as that scrap. There was also a tear along the edge of the wallpaper, wasn't there? If so...
You're right. If you overlay the scrap that was caught on the lighting with the tear in the wallpaper, see? It fits perfectly.
I see. So the scrap that was caught on the baton lighting was originally part of the wallpaper.
And what's wrong with that? Does it have something to do with Hyoko's body disappearing?
I don't know, maybe they covered her up with the thing just to make it look like there was nothing, and then they just tore it off. They tore the paper away.
A mere nobody like me isn't important enough to answer that. But if you guys were exceptional enough to identify that scrap of paper, you can...
Oh, sorry, I accidentally hit the A button. Then you can figure it out. The scrap paper was stuck to the baton was part of the wallpaper found in the storage room. Is this connected to the sudden appearance of Hyoko's body? If I trace it back from there, I should be able to answer it. Alright, let's give this a try. Logic drive, yay! Jim May, he's going on this day. He's going in the logic drive. Logic drive. Logic drive. This is a cool thing though, I really like it. It's like some Tron-esque game. Question 1. Why did Hyoko's body suddenly appear at the crime scene? It was hidden. Okay, first one. Okay. Well, really, this is fun. I like the logic drive. It's fun. I was afraid there was going to be some weird, janky go-kart sort of thing. Question 2. What did the killer use to hide her body? The wallpaper. I think we're assuming that. Okay! Woo! Okay. Come on. Question 3. How did the killer hide her body? They covered the pillar. Yeah, we did it! And we completed it! Perfect!
It's all coming together!
Yeah, I was guessing it. I'm actually getting this case for once.
I got it! Hyoko's body was hidden before we found it.
But it would have taken quite a long time to tape up a hidden body.
No, the body was already taped up and the killer hid it, along with the pillar using the wallpaper.
What? They hid the pillar?
Yeah, by wrapping the wallpaper around the pillar, the killer was able to create a slightly larger pillar. So when I first discovered Ibuki's body, Hyoko's body was already there. However, because it was concealed within a slightly larger pillar, I didn't realize that at the time.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, it makes sense that you'd notice Ibuki's body right away.
So they used the baton lighting on the ceiling to hang the wallpaper?
The baton lighting forms a perfect circle around the pillar, so using it to hang the wallpaper totally fits.
Then, the reason the wallpaper was covered in so many stickers was to make it look like that pillar.
That's how they hid Hyoko's body, and then peeled off the wallpaper as soon as I left the music venue.
But the killer made a mistake. They accidentally ripped off a piece of the wallpaper. And because of that, a scrap was left on the baton lighting.
The killer must have been in a hurry. Their plan took too long. Hajime could have walked in on them.
But going to the trouble of hiding the body and the pillar is very bold and risky.
But the crime itself would be much easier to pull off since they don't have much to do while Hajime's gone. They just have to peel off that wallpaper and stash it in the storage room. It's not that big of a deal.
Then, when was Hyoko actually killed?
Good point. And on that note, it's about time we shed some light on those imitation murders.
You mentioned imitation murder more than once. But what is that?
Are you kidding me? You haven't seen my masterpiece? The Wizard of Monami 2.5D?
I like how just the 2.5D is part of the name.
Hey! Don't put my likeness in your movies without my permission.
You're pretty noisy for someone who eats mothballs.
Well, is that a typo? I think they're saying mothballs, but are they trying to say mothballs? Is that a thing?
I don't eat mothballs.
Oh.
I just enjoy looking at them.
Okay, I thought they said mothballs for a second. I'm like, okay with that. Okay, but now we're good.
I knew it. There are so many similarities. It must have been intentional.
Ibuki's death by hanging matches the Scarecrow's death from the movie. Not just that, but Hyoko getting taped up after her death matches the lion's death.
But my question is this. It's one thing, like, with the last motive, why Fuyuhiko would try to imitate the game because it was just symbolic for him, but what would this killer have to gain from imitating this movie, besides making themselves appear obvious? What, are they just uncreative?
It's as if both crimes were replicas of scenes from the movie, although the mutilated Tin Man was omitted.
Actually, that's like a toss-up, more or less. I mean, like, there's like half of the Tin Man was put in. Maybe that's why it's a 2.5D. Like, I mean, half the Tin Man was put in because the arrows, because Hyoko wasn't shot with arrows, she was slashed in the throat, like how the Tin Man was slashed up. That's why I originally thought that they omitted the lion's death.
But why did the killer go to all this trouble in the first place?
Based on what we know, the reason the killer chose these imitations isn't that difficult to figure out.
The reason the killer imitated the two victims in that movie, I should explain it now. Oh, to mix up the killing order.
I see!
What I've been saying the entire time.
The reason the killer imitated two of the murders from the movie was so he'd mix up the killing order.
Basically, the Justice Hammer order. Yeah, something that I was able to figure out. Which, okay, that's why it didn't hurt me that much.
Then, Hyoko was actually killed before Ibuki?
Okay, this is already going by much better than Danganronpa 1. Freaking thanks, Taka.
A valid line of reasoning.
Yeah, it's valid. The condition of Ibuki's body suggests that as well.
What do you mean? If you're going to cry and beg like that, then I guess I'll hear about the condition of Ibuki's body.
I'm not even crying.
I'll let you sob as much as you want later. Just hurry up and tell me before I change my mind.
Gundam, how many times do I have to say you are a pleasure and a delight to be around?
What a jerk!
Oh, I see. You want me to explain it to you, right? Because you don't understand what I'm saying, right?
An even bigger jerk? Impossible!
Look, Ibuki died because she hanged herself, right? That means when she was still alive, her feet were touching the floor.
What's wrong with that?
Well, her sandals had blood.
But it seems Ibuki was still standing when Hyoko was killed. That would mean Hyoko was killed before Ibuki.
How light. Your words are so light as the sylph's feather. Your opponent is out of your league. It is too absurd to try to perplex me so inadequately.
Man, he's being annoying again.
First and foremost, you claim Ibuki's feet were touching the floor when Hyoko was killed. How can a low-class creature with no psychic abilities like you know something like that?
Sandals?
She was doing something that's only possible if her feet were on the floor.
It seems you suffer from a pathetic delusion.
You're one to talk.
Anyways, if this continues, we're just gonna talk in circles. I think it's best if we clarify Buki's status when Hiyoko's killed. Let's get those sandals out. Make your argument. Blood on the souls. Blood on the souls. Blood on the ground.
When Hiyoko died, Ibuki's feet were on the floor.
I am telling you to present your evidence.
Did you see her walking?
If her feet were on the floor, was there any sign she stepped on something?
No! Yes!
I agree
Come
with
back!
that.
Come back!
Just as Sonia said, Ibuki stepped on something.
Blood.
That something was blood. There were faint blood stains on the soles of her slippers.
Those look like sandals to me. Or flip-flops. Like, you know those Crocs? Like a pair of Crocs.
That is not Ibuki's blood, right? She suffered no external injuries.
Hiyoko did.
And it's Hiyoko's blood!
Hyoko's only wound was a fatal slice on her neck. And she died almost instantly, right?
If Ibuki stepped on her blood,
It means Ibuki was still standing when Hiyoko was mortally wounded.
But now the only real mystery that I have is why was the only source of light in that video the candle? I mean, really, what would Ibuki have to gain from just having the light on and the candle? Was she trying to be dramatic, or was it set up, like I was suspecting?
Which means Ibuki was still alive at the exact moment Hiyoko was killed.
Oh, I get it. Maybe Ibuki stepped in when Hiyoko was being killed. I don't know. Maybe she left the hospital and saw. Maybe she was in the music area. She was feeling better. Maybe the disease was wearing off. She wandered into the music hall in order to just be in her element, and she saw something she shouldn't have. The killer killed her, and then proceeded to make up this elaborate ruse to make it look like she killed herself.
Don't underestimate the power of the evil eye!
Gundam.
Is that it? A shepherd dressed in his Sunday's finest still reeks of lamb, Hajime Hinata.
Does that mean you have a rebuttal?
Does that mean you have a rebuttal? That's a good line. But are you sure you're sure? If I show you how serious I am, this world might be destroyed, you know.
Even when he's being irritating, Gundam is still a delight.
You're so frightened you can't even make a sound. It seems you've realized our difference in status.
Hear that, and just Hajime saying, is this really happening to me?
However, the time for conviction starts now. You better entertain me to the fullest.
Just look how happy Gundam is. You can't just deny that sort of happiness. Rope used for hanging, motel room key, scraps and paper, step ladder, candles, sledgehammer on the floor.
You're saying the blood on Ibuki's feet belongs... Ha! Impossible! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no blood on the floor. You can't step on blood that was never there.
Okay. I want to see just... Okay, I know that we're gonna have that. Ah, smudge on the floor.
Damn it!
I don't see you to respond.
You're saying the blood on Ibuki's feet belonged to Hiyoko?
Smudge.
Ha! Impossible! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no
Sorry, wrong control.
Allow me to cut through those words!
See, Gundam, he makes it fast.
That's not it. The reason there was no blood on the floor is because the killer wiped it away afterward.
Don't say such foolish things! You don't have proof of that at all!
Yes, I do.
Well, why are you getting so invested in this? I mean, we're already proving.
If you look closely, there's a streak on the floor where blood was wiped away.
When the killer tried to hide Hyoko's body, they probably cleaned the blood at the same time, but Ibuki must have already stepped in it, and the killer probably didn't even realize it.
The reason they wiped off the blood on the floor was so we'd mix up the order of the murders, right? Even if they're able to hide Hyoko's body, it'd be bad if her blood was left out in the open.
Plus, Ibuki's body was left out in the open, And it wasn't bleeding from any open wounds at all.
Yoko's body was probably wrapped in duct tape to stop her bleeding. Actually, the bleeding will stop once the heart stops beating, so I don't think they had to go that far.
Aside from Mikon, none of us were aware of that fact, so the killer probably did not know it either.
Maybe the heater was running inside the music venue so it would screw with Mikon's autopsy?
That's right! I didn't know the time of death because of the heater!
If the time of death wasn't mentioned in the Monokuma file just to keep concrete evidence from us.
Yep. Since we have all this evidence, there's no one else who wants to object, right? Then it's decided. Hyoko was killed before Ibuki.
It appears that it is wiser to retreat for now. Fine then, but regardless of good or evil, there's no deceit in upholding one's convictions.
Can't you just shut up and back off?
Now then, let us resume our debate.
Wait a sec. There's something I want to run by Monokuma first.
Huh? Again? Didn't something like this happen last time too?
Hey, if the victim actually committed suicide, what are we supposed to do?
Not suicide.
The same as always. You have to vote for who the killer is. Think about it. A suicide means you've killed the most important existence of all, yourself. Unfortunately, that means there's no Blacken to punish, but I guess in a pinch, I can always punish Monami.
Why me?
Because he doesn't have alter ego?
Nagito? What do you mean? If the victim actually committed suicide?
Well, I mean, I understand Hyoko's death, but I'm wondering if Ibuki was really murdered. For example, it's possible Ibuki killed Hyoko, and then committed suicide due to a guilty conscience, right?
That just sounds so off. I mean, really. In this situation, if she didn't want to do it, why would she aim for Hyoko? And why would she basically just do it? I mean, sure, she had, and then kill herself afterwards. That'd be kind of contradictory to just why these killings are happening in the first place. Just get off the island.
That's totally impossible! Then she never would have killed her to begin with!
She was afflicted by the despair disease, remember? That means anything can happen.
And that would sort of happen with Akane, I mean, since she had, like, the woeful section, but Ibuki had the gullible part. So the only thing that would really happen is she was told to kill Hyoko by someone and then basically done it, but that would be it, really.
But if Ibuki's the killer, she wouldn't have been able to falsify the sequence of the murders, right?
Right, she was only missing from that one part. She was only missing the next morning.
After Hajime saw the hanged body, the sudden appearance of Hyoko's body soon after means the killer had to be alive at that time.
Then she was alive! When Hajime first discovered Ibuki, she was just pretending to be dead. If she waited until Hajime left, that's when she could have made her move and mess with the crime scene.
Then why isn't she here? I think Monokuma would poke her with a stick.
She hanged herself! Remember? There's no fucking way she could have faked that!
And if she was going to fake her death, I think she wouldn't have chosen hanging.
I think she would have just went with the Hafumi method.
Her body would have been defenseless in that state. If anyone touched her, that alone would have ruined her plan.
I see. So that means...
And plus, since we already reported autopsy report, either she's the best person to play at playing dead, or she was dead.
There's no doubt that someone killed those two. I'm glad. Now I'm free to search for the killer.
What the heck?
There's still one more issue on my mind. If Ibuki didn't commit suicide, then just what was that video Hajime saw?
Huh?
According to that video you saw, Ibuki was by herself when she climbed the stepladder, right?
Right. That's what I was thinking. That basically after killing Hyoko, due to the blood stain on the left side of the ladder, the killer faked it to make it look like a suicide.
Then does that mean someone forced her to do it?
Forced? Perhaps they used hypnotism or something?
I don't know anything about that.
Don't say it all proud.
Putting that aside, it seems obvious that the killer did something. So, maybe we should figure out who was able to do whatever that was.
So, an alibi. Then our plan is to destroy the weakest alibi. Since Hajime has seen the video, it is clear what time the crime took place.
But just to be sure, that surveillance camera doesn't have a record function, right?
It's a cheap-ass surveillance camera, you know? There's no way it'd have some kind of sweet recording feature.
Then, the video Hajime saw was actually live?
What time did Hajime see that video?
I saw it at the hospital, right before Monokuma's morning announcement. And I saw the body at the music venue a little after Monokuma's announcement.
So Ibuki hanged herself right before Monokuma's announcement. And since we established that Hiyoko was killed before Ibuki, that means the time that the murders occurred was before and during the announcement.
Then, we just have to find the person who doesn't have an alibi during that time?
Now then, I shall issue my decree. Let Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi commence!
Okay, what's our argument this time? Mikan's like, no.
We can...
Okay, I want to just see the accounts. Okay, Mikan's account, right up until the announcement that morning, Mikan was with Hajime the whole time. Afterwards, okay, Hiko's account. Okay, Hiko and Mikan were always up with virtual time.
And what about the others?
Right before the morning announcement, I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel doesn't have an alibi.
What about you guys?
I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by the disease, if nobody has an alibi, then Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has failed!
I don't think Hiko did it, I really don't.
We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right?
No. Please tell me.
And what about the others?
Right before the I was totally sleeping.
I think everyone at...
So everyone
no,
who stayed...
no,
What about you guys? I was where I was supposed to be.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted, if nobody has an alibi, then...
No!
it's wrong.
No! It can't be Mikan! It can't be Mikan! No! Okay. Look, maybe she's set up. Maybe it was like Hiyoko.
Not all of us are missing an alibi. In fact, Mikan and I both have
Oh,
alibis.
good. Okay, good.
You
We're not
two have
accusing her.
alibis?
Okay, good. Sorry, just like I don't want to be like some anti-Mondo.
Up until I saw that hanging video, Mikan and I were actually together for a while.
We even woke up together that morning.
And now we're getting into that dark pit of hell.
Hey, what kind of situation is that?
One that Hajime would like to forget.
I accidentally fell asleep on top of Hajime.
The Chiaki that look on Chiaki's face.
Too much info.
Yeah, it's not like that. She just came to tell me Nagato's condition had improved.
And we went to the hospital together afterward. So we were together until right before the announcement.
I get it. You guys have alibis.
If that's the case, the killer must be someone else.
It's better if we think about it like that. The killer decided to falsify the murder sequence to hide the actual time of the crime anyway.
So it's inevitable that an alibi for both before and during the morning announcement would be very important.
It feels like Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has backed us into a corner instead.
But committing an imitation murder, is that really all it was?
A question we will answer next time. Anyways, I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this episode. You're a great viewer. I hope you come back for the next one. If you like the video, like, subscribe, comment, share, wherever that you want. And with that, I will see you later. Bye.